So it's the start of a new year, and as is tradition, we are going to give you our top 5 films of the year gone by. Happy New Year!
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if we were gonna.
Well, I mean, it's the new year.
It is the new
Hey,
year.
listen, we promised you some videos.
We did.
And some videos you're gonna get.
True that.
This is the first of 3 sort of goodbye videos, farewell videos. So let's enjoy our last bit of time together. Today, as Dale alluded to, we're talking about our top 5 films of 2013.
Yes, we are. Not many rules with this list, except for the films have to have come out in the UK in 2013.
That's true. There are some films that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Inside Llewellyn Davis.
Oh, are we really going to do this? Oh, no, yeah, the Oscar
Well, I mean,
ones.
there are 3 main ones.
12 Years a Slave.
I mean, 12 Years a Slave is the big one.
Wolf on Wall Street hasn't come out of it. Basically, all the Oscar films aren't out yet over here.
That's true.
So they're not on our list, but everything else is. So there you go. There's
Lovely. All right.
that. Who wants to go first? Should I go first? Do you want to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. So my first film, my number 5 pick, is a film by Jeff Nicholas, new director, and the film is called Mud. It was the last film I watched of 2013.
Okay.
I heard a lot about it, and I was like, right, this needs to get watched. It is fantastic. It's kind of like this Stand By Me for the modern generation. Bit of a Great Expectations twist to it as well. It's all about these 2 kids who find a boat up in a tree, and they're like, this will be our treehouse boat. And then they find out there's a guy living in it, and the guy asks them to help him get this boat started and help him on this great adventure. It turns out that he's a criminal, and that they need to. That's it's not. It's in the trailers and stuff, and you pretty much know from the start. So that's, and you know, it's the kind of moral dilemmas of that.
It sounds
coming
like I would
of
like
age.
it.
You'd love it. You would love it, sir. And the children actors are fantastic in this film. They put on such a great performance, as does Matthew McConaughey, and as does Michael Shannon, who's only in it for all of 2 minutes. So there you go. Number 5 is Mud. Dan?
My number 5. My number 5 is a bit of a sort of, I wanted to pick one of the summer blockbusters because I like to put one of them on my list. I want, you know, one of those sort of popcorn movies.
Of course.
And there was a lot that sort of were flirting around that area. There were a lot that I
Because
could've
last
went with.
year, a lot of them were on our lists.
It's true. Well, my number 1 was The Hobbit last year.
My number 1 was The Avengers.
So there you go. My number 5 this year, also, as well as being a summer blockbuster, was one of the biggest surprises of the year for me, and that is The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. I thought the first one was okay. Thought it was fine. The second one, there has been very few times during the cinema where I just felt so many emotions whilst watching it, and this film was a roller coaster for me. Like, I felt all the things. I was completely invested.
Felt all the feelings.
The structure's a little weird, but because I've read the books, I knew what the structure was going to be, so it wasn't off-putting for me like I've heard it was for some people. But I had just one of the best times I had at the cinema this year.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, I agree. I did love Hunger Games much more than I liked the first one. So my number 4 film is Nebraska, which is another indie film, but it's by Alexandra Payne. I don't know if you remember him as a director. He did Up in the Air, along with lots of films like About Schmidt, things like that. This was just such a beautiful father-son film. I
haven't even heard anything about the film.
It really went under the radar, but it got absolutely fantastic reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's rocking like a 96%. So I was like, well, need to check this one out. And yeah, it's got a fairly small cast. Like the biggest name in it is probably Sal from Breaking Bad. He's in it. But yeah, no, and it's all in black and white as well, the film. But it has such an indie charm to it. Alexandra Payne does such a good job with the writing and just kind of raw emotions of characters. I remember when Up in the Air came out, that was one of my favourite films of that year. I can't even remember what year. but of that year. And yeah, Nebraska is one of my favourite films of this year. I highly recommend you check it out.
Wicked. My number 4. So excited. My number 4 is Filth. Saw Filth sort of halfway through the year. It just sort of came out during the summer, didn't it?
It was October time, actually. Yeah, so it was quite
felt like long ago.
Maybe
what
August.
an exciting, sort of darkly funny, really uniquely shot film. I think a lot of people, it had, going against Train Spotting and that sort of aesthetic that film, Danny Boyle popularized, it had a lot to do to sort of be its own film. And I think it did it really well. And this is the best performance I think James McAvoy has ever given. I didn't really like him before going in this, and he was phenomenal in this. It's exciting, it's electric, and it's cool. It's a cool film. Number 4, Filth.
I don't think many American viewers will have seen it because I don't think it's out in the States yet. I think they're struggling to find. Well, it's very.
It is very British.
Very British. Well, very Scottish as well. So I think they're finding it quite hard to get a distributor out there. But when that comes out, I highly recommend they go and see it. My number 3 film is it's actually, I think, yeah, it's probably the biggest blockbuster on my list, and that is Rush by Ron Howard. It is the Formula One biopic, the story of Niki Lauda and my brain's gone dead.
Yeah.
Niki Lauda and who's the other one?
Thor.
And Thor. Niki Lauda versus Thor. And it's all set in the 70s. It's all about their kind of rivalry. And you go into it from seeing the trailer going, well, we're going to love Chris Hemsworth's character. He is clearly the hero of the film. And the way this film works is it kind of makes you go, hey, Chris Hemsworth character's a great guy. He's also a bit of a dick. And then it makes you go, oh, but this other guy who Niki Lauda is, Daniel Brühl. German actor. He was in Inglourious Bastards, Goodbye Lenin, and he was also in The Fifth Estate this year. He's one of my favourite actors to show up this year, and he does a great job as Niki Lauda. And again, he is one of these characters you go, he is a bit of he's a bit too into what he does, and he's a bit too neurotic, but at the same time, he makes sense. Hunt, yes. Hunt what? Something Hunt. I was going to think Ethan Hunt. No. It's not Ethan Hunt, that's Mission Impossible. Yeah, they do a great job of showing both sides equally, and by the end of the film, you just have this wonderful feeling of just what it is to be a competitor and what it is to have great rivalry. And also the racing scenes are so intense in this film. Like, it really does rev you up.
Talking about intense. Talking about revving you up.
Talking
My
about
number 3 film this year, Captain Phillips. Now,
I missed it. I missed Captain Phillips.
Whoa. Like, do you remember when we watched Argo? And that is a tense
You
film.
spend the last 10 minutes like heart attack.
Yeah.
Induced.
Well, the first 10 minutes of this film is fine. Every other minute of this film, my stomach was in knots the whole time. It is so tense, so nervy, and you're just like wanting a release. You're just wanting something, and it just doesn't come until right at the very end. And when it does, you feel what he's going through. It's emotional. Like, it is just this ride, and it is a long film, and it does not feel like it because you are just hooked the whole time. It is an incredible story.
Yeah.
Just an incredible story. And I always like these sort of based on true event stuff because it means the structure is very unusual usually in these films. And I was just never not in a state of, like, it never didn't have me, this film. It's exhilarating, so good, and very well shot.
Yeah, no, I missed it. I heard it was amazing, and I do intend to watch it when I get the chance. That's one that I'm really glad that I did miss. So my number 2 film, guys, look, we don't have to beat around the bush here. It's Edgar Wright. He brought out a film this year. We knew it was going to be on my list. My number 2 film is The World's End, starring Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and it's the end of the Cornetto trilogy. I love this film. This film is so funny, so heartwarming, has that brilliant Edgar Wright directing style, and the dialogue in there that he does so well. It looks fantastic. There are a couple of action scenes in this film that, if you've seen it, are actually amazing. I won't spoil it because I know you haven't seen it yet.
Seen it.
I know. Stephen's shaking his head. Stephen, did you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How cool's the action scene where he's got the pint and he's like throwing it in the air, grabbing it again?
Bar stools.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right.
Bar stools.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's such a fantastic film. I absolutely loved it, and I think it's the second best in the Cornetto trilogy. Shaun of the Dead, of course, being the best. So yeah, that's my number 2. I need not say any more.
Okay, my number 2.
Number 2. Oh, this is exciting
It's
territory.
exciting because I've been wrestling with 1 and 2 for a while, and they keep switching places.
Did you finally suplex 2 into position?
Yeah, and I think 2 has probably suffered from the fact that I saw it so long ago. But my number 2 is Django Unchained. I saw Django Unchained right at the beginning of the year. It is my second favorite Tarantino film. I just thought it was one of the coolest films I've ever seen. Like, again, there was never a point where... And in fact, it is the only film this year where the filmmaking is the main character for me. Like, that is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, like, these sort of techniques that have fell out of fashion that he's brought back. He's made them cool. He's made them useful and relevant.
Yeah.
DiCaprio's a lot of brilliant performances in this. Hilarious. Probably the funniest film I've seen this year. Just...
You have not seen a lot of comedies then, sir, because this was a great year for the comedy.
That's true that I haven't seen a lot of comedies. But I've seen a few.
You've seen a few.
And Django was the funniest. Like, hilarious. I was never not laughing. Just wonderfully stylistic. Again, it might have been number 1 if I'd have seen it more recently, if I'd have gotten a chance to rewatch it. I don't know. But Django Unchained, number 2.
So there you go. So it's number 1 time. It's number 1 time. And so far, what I notice, Mr. Morgan...
No, nothing in common.
Nothing in common. Until this moment right now. Of course, my number 1 film is Filth. You saw it and the first thing you said was, that's a Dale film. Yeah. Like, if Dale was to make a film, that's the type of film he'd make. I saw this film in the cinema 3 times. I loved it so much. Like, every single bit of humour and emotion and dialogue and camera movement and just everything about this film. The music, it's just all there. It's just straight out of my head onto the screen. I absolutely love this. I think it's the best adaptation of an Ivan Welsh novel. I think it is superior to Trainspotting by far. I don't think it will translate across the Atlantic quite as well as Trainspotting has, but I do still think it's better. It has one of my favourite film endings ever. Like, it's so impactful, such a punch in the face. Ending. And James McAvoy's character is amazing. All the characters in this film, Jim Broadbent as the doctor, Jamie Bell as the kind of rookie cop, all the other police officers, all the other great performances in that film, amazing. This film will not get the recognition it deserves, and that's such a shame because, yeah, Filth is my favourite film of the year. Mr. Morgan, what is yours?
My number 1 film of the year surprised me like no other film has. There was just... I did not think I was going to like this film, and you told me to watch it, and I was just so unsure about it, and my number 1 film of the year, Rush.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Rush. Like, this is what I'm saying about... I mean, I don't know why I didn't like
this. This is what I'm saying.
I love this kind of film where, like, this is a part of life, Formula 1 racing, that I know nothing about, don't care anything about.
James Hunt!
James Hunt.
No, was that guy we went to school with?
No, I think his name might have been James Hunt. Anyway, Thor. I like Thor.
I like Thor versus Niki Lauda.
Just it's that time before he found his hammer.
Rush.
Jesus.
Rush, right. Where, it's a window into this world that I knew nothing about at all. And I was captivated, and you were so right. That switch in protagonist that you don't even realise is happening. Like, when that does happen, you're like, oh shit, fuck.
Yep.
I need this guy. I love this guy.
Yep.
I love this guy. The Nicky Lauda character, and I say character because I have no idea what this guy was like. And you were right, the actor that plays him is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He becomes so endearing. In fact, he was more than endearing. He was inspiring to me. Like, I watched this film, I think, inspired me, and that actually was one of the big reasons why I picked it over Django in the end. As entertaining as it was, there was something really sort of deep and profound that I got from Rush that I don't think I got from any other film this year. I couldn't have loved it more, and I just did not expect to like it.
Fantastic. Well, that is our top
So
5
we have
films each. So
two commonalities in the end.
Yeah.
Our 2 number 1 films are both on each other's list.
that's very true. So I suppose altogether, because Rush is ranked higher on mine than Filth is on yours, Rush would be the Dan and Dale comic book show film of the year, I suppose.
I mean, if that was the type of thing we were doing.
That was the type of thing.
But see Filth and Rush, because they're both fantastic.
So good. Cool. And so we want to know what your lists are. Please leave a comment down below of your top 5 films of the year. Also over on Twitter, maybe not at Comic Book Show 1, but at DG Brody and at
DKMRGN.
Yeah, that's where you can find us on Twitter.
10 to 6.
10 to 6. Yes. If you come over to my channel, which will be linked either here or on my face or somewhere, I don't know where. We're going to be talking about our 10 to 6. I know that's a bit of an odd order to do things.
We should have told them at the beginning of this video.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
they could have watched that one first.
But that, it's just kind of... That's only 5 of the films we saw this year. We saw many more. We want to talk about them. So our 6 to 10 list will be over on my channel.
All right. So I take it we're on Monday, and the next video is Wednesday.
Sure. That's true.
On Wednesday, don't forget to join us for our top 5 comic books of 2013.
And then on Friday, we are going to have bloopers from the entirety of last year's film.
We've literally got a year's worth of outtakes, and there we go. We'll see us into the next year.
Yeah.
See you then.
James Hunt.
James Hunt.
No, was that guy we went to school with.